Namaskaram everyone. Good evening. Om Namah Shri Yati Rajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharine. I welcome all of you on behalf of Vivekananda Samiti to this lecture, Purpose to Live, Guidance from Bhagavad Gita. Now let me give a brief introduction of Gokulmuthu Narayanaswamy sir. He was one of the founders of Vivekananda Study Circle in IIT Madras when he studied there. He was the secretary of Samskrita Sangha at IISc Bangalore for 2 years when he was there. He is a mentor of Vivekananda Study Circle in IISc Bangalore. He was a mentor of Vivekananda Study Circle at IIM Bangalore when it was functioning there. He is a member and mentor of Vivekananda Yuvak Sangha at Ramakrishna Ulsoor, Bangalore. He is a trustee and trainer of Vivekananda Janoththaana Trust, which conducts life skills workshops for college students and other youth. He regularly addresses youth and children on Hinduism, Vedanta, Gita, and Vivekananda. He is a regular contributor of book reviews and articles to Vedanta Kesari, the monthly magazine of Sri Ramakrishna Mutt, published from Chennai. He conducts personality development workshop for youth. Now I request sir to give the talk.
Om Yishwaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namah. And so I think purpose of life, this is, I don't know, I think some of you might have listened to a talk which was given under IISc, Vivekananda Study Circle IISc on a similar topic, and this is kind of more expanded and more elaborate. So, and if you're, so this is a very important topic which we all need to understand, and we all keep wondering, is there a purpose to life? And and do different people have got different purposes to life? uh, as a student, what is my purpose? And uh, uh, and of late, like I have a few very old relatives, like who are pretty much too old with Alzheimer's and dementia, and some people are bedridden now. Do they have a purpose in life? Is there a purpose in life even in the last few days of your life, where you pretty much are dependent physically on people who are around you? So there's a lot of questions on this. So and there are some people who say, like, whatever, no, like, just kao piyo maja karo, there is no purpose to life. So now let us have a kind of a discussion, and I want you to think along with me. We will go through several thought experiments when we to understand it, and we'll take guidance from Gita, uh, and as interpreted by Swami Vivekananda. Right. So let me start with a question. Right now, let me tell you a small story which happened in a farm. So in a farm, there were these animals, and they were talking to each other. And the cow said, I give milk to the farmer, and which keeps the farmer and his family very healthy. I'm very useful to the farmer, and the farmer loves me. Then the horse said, I draw carts, I carry loads, I help the farmer plow the field, I do a lot of hard work, and I'm very useful, and the farmer loves me. And the chicken, the hen and the cock, they also said, like, we give eggs, we lay eggs, we make more chicken, and we keep the farmer's family healthy, and the farmer is also able to sell the eggs, and he makes money. They can make cakes and so many things. So they said, like, we are very useful to the farmer. Then the sheep said, I give wool to the farmer. The farmer shears me regularly, and he gets a lot of wool. With that, he makes blankets, he makes clothes and pillows and so many things. And the sheep said, I'm very useful to the farmer, and the farmer loves me. Now, after hearing all these things, the goat said, well, you all you guys give something, all you guys work very hard, but look at me, like, I don't need to give anything. I just play around all day, and the farmer feeds me well. And I don't I just like kao piyo maja karo, like, like I just jump around and just be around. And the farmer loves me too, he feeds me well. And of course, a couple of days later, the goat was missing. And I guess you all can guess what happened to the goat. And of course, the farmer loves the goat in a different way, right? So this is a very interesting story, and we need to think about it. So, if you are being fed and clothed for free, it is a very dangerous situation, right? Like, if you are not expected to do any work, but if you are taken care of, and like, if you are fattened up, right, then you are the bakra, literally, right? The goat is fattened only to be chopped off, its head is going to be chopped off. And so if you don't give anything, then you yourself are the commodity, right? That's what happens to the goat. Now, understand that nature is smarter than you. And whether you like it or not, there is a balance in nature. And if you don't even if you don't give willingly, nature will extract out of you. And it is better that you know what you are giving, and it is better that you are aware of what you are giving, and it is better that you give voluntarily, so that the balance is maintained and you don't become a bakra, right? So that you don't become a commodity. Now, uh, when it comes to giving, right, let us look at another experiment, another thought experiment. Like, now, suppose, let us say, you want to buy a car or a bike, right? Now, uh, what do you look for in a car or a bike? You might look for like pickup, right, space, style. But ultimately, especially we Indians, right, we look for one thing in a car or a bike. What is that? Kitna deta hai, right? What's the mileage? Mileage is something which is the most important aspect of a car or a bike when we want to buy one. And as many of your engineers, and you must have all studied thermodynamics, right? The efficiency of a machine or any system is the output by input, right? So we want a bike or a car to run a long distance with as minimum petrol or diesel as possible. So then we call it as a very efficient machine, right? Now, apply the same thing to yourself. Now, what is your efficiency? Do you consume more than you contribute, or do you contribute more than you consume, right? Now, life is not measured by not measured by how much you accumulated. Like, it's not measured by how much bank balance you have, how many houses you have, how much wealth you have, like, how many gadgets you have, where all you traveled in life. Like, no, that is uh, life is not measured by what you have consumed or what you have accumulated, because that is your input. Life is measured by your output. What have you contributed, right? What have you given? What have you given to the society? That is how you measure life. So a successful life is something where the output has been maximum and your footprint on the face of this earth is minimum, right? So all of you, like, of course, the first initial few years of your life, like maybe 20 years or so, or I mean 25 years if you're doing PhD, like maybe even up to 30, would be mostly consuming, right from the childhood. If you see a human baby, like, cannot take care of itself, right? Like there is so much of investment which gets into every human child, right? Like even right from changing the diapers to washing and feeding and teaching and like everything, almost till a human be a person is maybe 25 years old. It is all investment, investment, investment. The person keeps, right, consuming, and nature has a balance, and you have to give, as they say, like the coconut tree, even the water that the coconut tree drank is given back as coconut water, right? So that is true with everything in nature. Every morsel of food that has gone into your mouth, every drop of water that you have drunk, it you have to give back. You have to pay back to nature, right? And your life is measured by how much you have contributed, how less you have consumed, and how more you have contributed. So always you ask yourself, kitna deta hu, right? How much, what is your mileage, what is your efficiency? And so this is one thought. I just want to give you a few thoughts like this, and then we can put everything together, and then we can come to a, you'll be able to form a coherent idea. Of course all these things are already related, as you can see. Now there are two ways to live, right? Based on whatever I have told you so far, right? Now, one way is, grab, like what is in it for me? Wherever you see, you say, okay, like how can I, what can this person give me? How can I use this person? What can I, like, which is a very wrong way of living life, or it's a very wrong perspective to life, right? So this is grab, right? And the other way is give, right? Wherever you look at, you say, okay, how can I help? How can I contribute? How can I add value? Like if you read many of the business books, right, like the good books of business, right, they all talk about give. They say, like, you just give, and money will come and opportunities will come. You don't need to worry about them. All that you need to see is, how can I add maximum value to the world? How can I add value to my customers? How can I add value to the shareholders? How can I add value to my other employees? Now you focus on adding value, and the business will automatically thrive. So that is the wisdom which is there in business, right? So it's always, so your entire life, if you focus on giving, then it is better. Because as I told you, the balance will be maintained by nature, right? So whether you like it or not, you have to give. And whether you like it or not, nature will put things into your hands. Now the question comes, where do you focus? If you do voluntarily grab, and let nature rob you of what is due, then it's a very sad situation, and it is not very desirable, because you don't know what is going to be taken away from you. Whereas if you focus on give, and let nature uh, put the results back into your hands, so that way, like, you can decide what to give, when to give, how much to give, right? So then if you take this position, and let nature take care of the balance in the other direction, then this is a much better way to live. And this is exactly what Gita talks about karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana, right? So you focus on giving, right? Karmanyeva adhikaraste. You focus on work, and ma phaleshu kadachana, right? Like don't worry about the results. Results, let nature take care of it. Nature knows how to balance it, right? So nature will take care of the balance. You focus on giving. So that is, this is one of the core concepts of the Gita, right? So basically, like focusing on giving and trying to contribute as much as possible, and not and trying to consume as less as possible. That is exactly what we call as karma yoga, right? And of course, this is another concept like which you might have read in a lot of social media, like you use objects and serve people, not the other way around, right? So that's also, it's kind of related. And so now, so these two ways of living, right, give or grab, would turn out to be whether you live your life as a queen or a king, or you live your life as a beggar. I know some people, like they are so emotionally dependent on others, and even if they have a haircut, and if no one notices it, they are very sad. Like they go around and asking, like, did you notice my haircut? Did you notice my haircut? They want people to notice. Or if it is their birthday, they want people to wish them, and they feel very bad. And often it happens, like 20 people wish, but then there is one particular person who did not wish, and then that is what you are worried about, right? So that's basically living a very beggarly life. Like, and so this giving and grabbing, it need not be only monetary or material. It can be emotional, it can be education, it can be so many things, right? So the whole core of the whole thing is live like a king and not like a beggar, right? And that is karma yoga, right? So you focus on giving, and let nature take care of putting things back into you. And you all know the second chapter 47 sloka, like the karma yoga shloka, you all know. And here there's another shloka which I'm giving you from the third chapter, right, which also talks about the same, the karma yoga, right? Yajna shishta shinas santo muchyante sarva kilbishaihi bunjante tvagam papa, right? Ye pachant atma karanat. So a person who contributes, right? A person who contributes, and after that he consumes, right? So the yajna here basically means contribution. Any positive, constructive contribution to the world is yajna, right? And yajna shishta is what is left out of the yajna, or the prasada of the yajna, right? And that is what you get after your contribution, right? And a person who consumes that, right, yajnishishta ashina, uh, santo, he is a noble person, right? That santa muchyante, he is free from sarva kilbishaihi, all sins, right? He is free from all defects, all sins. Like he'll gets a lot of punya. His papa is gone, and he gets a lot of punya. Whereas the person, right, who ye pachanti atma karanat, a person who cooks for himself only, right? So basically, which means like he doesn't share with others. This kind of, you can use it, look at it as an allegorical, like it's more of a, it's a it's given as a metaphor, right? So uh, yaha pachanti atma karanat, one who cooks only for himself, that person, right, he eats only sin, right? So basically, which means he gets a lot of papa, and he doesn't get any punya. So this is the way Gita puts it, right? Like that you contribute as much as possible, and whatever you are given as prasada out of the contribution you do to the world, right? So that if you take, so then you all know how much prasada we take, right? Like you take it like prasada. So which means it also shows that whatever you consume in this world, it should be yajna shishta, like it should be like prasada, like you just take as minimum as possible, and whereas you give as maximum as possible, right? So all those concepts you can get from this beautiful shloka in the Gita. Now, let us look at one more concept here. And many of you might be knowing the Alfred case of Alfred Nobel. So Alfred Nobel, he was a person who uh, invented the dynamite, right? And after he invented dynamite, the whole, of course, it was useful to blast rocks and all that. But it was mainly, it completely changed the theater of warfare, the warfare and guns and, like, all kinds of firearms, and everything was completely revolutionized by the invention of dynamite by Alfred Nobel. And what happened, and he became very rich. He became a great very rich and big billionaire in the whole of Europe. And at the time, there was a French newspaper which had a French magazine, or rather, like, by mistake, it thought, one Alfred Nobel was dead. The magazine thought that it was this particular Alfred Nobel, the discoverer of, the inventor of dynamite, who had died. And it published an obituary column which said, "The merchant of death is dead." And Alfred Nobel happened to see that, and that was a waking call for him. And he realized that when dies, this is how the world is going to remember him. And of course, he did not want the world to remember him as merchant of death. And that is when he started the Nobel Foundation, and the Nobel Prize was instituted by him, and a lot of charity work he did. And today, of course, we all know, like, we remember Alfred Nobel more for the Nobel Prize than for the dynamite that he invented. So now the question for all of you is, how do you want people to remember you after your death? Right? So there are different kinds of people, like spouse, children, neighbors, colleagues, friends, servants, waiters. Like, some people are chosen by you, like friends. Some people are given, you have no choice, like children or relatives. Some people are, like neighbors, colleagues, who are more like your peers, whereas some people are like servants and waiters, who are dependent on you, or who look upon you. Like, there are different kinds of people whom you interact with on a daily basis. So how do you want these people to remember you, right? Now, typically, like, in our ashrams, we have a memorial day on the 13th day or something, after a monk dies, and then where people get together and tell a few good words about the person who has passed away. And of course, like, it is conducted in a lot of cultures also, like in a lot of communities. Now, in a memorial, in your memorial, how do you want people to remember you, right? So I would ask, like, you to take 20 seconds off, look at this cloud of words, and pick three of them, right? Pick three words by which you would like people to remember you. So on your memorial day, like on the 13th day after your death, when your spouse, your children, neighbors, colleagues, friends, servants, waiters, when they are called upon the stage to tell a few words about you, right? What would you like them to identify you as, right? What kind of a person? Pick three, right? Pick three of them. And now you can think. Now, if this is what you want to be remembered for, is your behavior aligned? Because we never know when we are going to die, right? At least Parikshit was lucky that he had a curse that he will die the seventh day. We don't even know that. At least a curse that he will die the seventh day basically means that at least for 7 days he won't die, right? We don't have even that amount of surety of our life. So uh, we may die anytime, right? It can be an hour later, it can be a day later, it can be 2 days, 3 days, month, anytime, right? So now, how do you want to be remembered? And I think better that you align your behavior towards the three words that you have selected, so that anytime you pop off, people will remember for you want what you want people to remember you for, right? um, so I think someone has raised their hands. I don't know if it is by mistake or not. Questions, we'll take it at the end. We'll have some time for questions at the end, okay? Because there's a lot of things to cover, and let us put everything towards the end. Okay, so now, uh, so how much time do we have, right? How much time do we have to align ourselves to these values? Now, let us do a small experiment, right? So I would request all of you to see if you can take the calculator on your cell phone, and because I know, like, many of you can do some simple multiplication, right? So simple multiplication, subtraction, you can do it in your head, but then like using your hands also is going to give you multisensory learning, right? Like your learning always is much better if you do multisensory learning. So pick up the calculator on your cell phone. I'll give you a few seconds for you to pick it up and open the app. Taken? Maybe a couple of you can respond so that I know that I'm using the right pace. Has any of you taken your cell phone and have the calculator
Yes.
ready? Yeah. So now, uh, I have put here, like, suppose how long you might live, right? You can come up with kind of an estimate. Like, I have put here as 90 years. Now you can come up with your own number. How much do you think you will live? And of course, the medicine is becoming better and better. So I think all of us will live much longer than our previous generations. So let us say, like, you're going to live for 90 years, and now you subtract your age from that, and suppose, let us say, you are 20, then you will have 70, right? Like, so subtract it and then multiply it by 52, right? So 52, all of you know, right? It's not a magic number. It is a number of weeks in a year, right? So what you get will be the number of weeks that you have left. Today is a Friday, right? And how many Fridays are you going to see in your life is the number that is staring at you from your calculator, right? Now, another small experiment is actually, this is one of the Stoic experiment. Now, suppose if I take a graph sheet, this is a standard A4 size graph sheet, right? And if I say each point, each cell in the graph sheet is a week, and if I put 90 years and 52 weeks in a year, it doesn't even cover one third of the graph sheet. This is all our life is, right? Not even one third of a graph sheet. If I suppose if I have three pens, let us say a red pen, a green pen, and a blue pen or a black pen, right? And then if I say for each week how good the week was, did I contribute more than I consume? Did I, like, help people, or did I create trouble to people? Based on that, if you have to fill each cell every Friday, right, with a red or a green or a black, depending on whether it was good, bad, ugly, whatever, right? Then you won't even fill a full graph sheet for your entire life. Your entire life is less than one third of a graph sheet, and out of which, of course, 20 years go in childhood, right? As I told you, like, where you only consume, no contribution, and another 20 years, let us say, goes in old age, where again no contribution possible, only consumption, right? And of course, sickness, right? Assuming a very conservative estimate of you fall sick maybe about 15 days in a year, right? 3 weeks in a 2 3 weeks in a year is gone, right? So overall, if you look at it, right, you hardly have 2400 weeks, which is less than about 500 months. This is all that you have of productive life. And of course, I showed this to my son, and he said, Papa, you have not subtracted the 8 hours of sleep. One third of this is slept. right? And then again maybe some time goes for entertainment, eating, all kinds of things. And if you are in Bangalore, then a lot of time goes in traffic also. Now this is you should think about this, right? Like we are in the end of August now, right? So 1 month is over out of the 500 months that you have. And next month it's going to be 499, then 498, 497. It's going to keep ticking down, right? So wake up, right? You don't have much time. So I'm not trying to frighten you, but remember that time is very, very important, and we have very less time in our hand. Now let me take you through another thought experiment. Suppose if I give you 10 lakhs and ask you to spend it. Let us say I give you 1 week to spend it. So in 1 weeks, I don't know how many of you have seen Arunachala movie. Uh, so there it is. Basically, similar concept comes there anyway. So suppose if I give you 10 lakhs and I give you just 1 week to spend it, you can spend on whatever you want, right? You can spend on anything that you want, or you can even split it and say, okay, I will spend 5 lakhs on this, another 5 lakh on something else. And so so for want of time, like I'll just give you a couple of seconds for you to think about it, and then we'll continue, like instead of being because interactive will take more time. So take a few seconds and think how you will spend 10 lakhs in a week if you have to do so. What will you do? You can do anything you want. Think about it. Maybe you can take a couple of answers that will be interesting. Any of you have something in mind? Whatever is at the top of your mind, you just tell what is in the top of your mind. Someone wants to unmute and tell?
So one participant says that he'll buy Mahindra Bolero 10 lakhs.
Very good.
And one
Very,
says for tourism.
very good.
Another one says set up an institution to serve humanity.
Okay. Okay. I think Vikram has raised his hand. Any other answers?
Charity work.
Charity. Yeah, either you can type in, or if you type in, then maybe Ankush can read out, or if you can just unmute yourself and shout out also. 'Cause I don't want to distract by reading the chat window.
One says invest it.
Invest it. Okay, good. Good. So yeah, let us keep going. Okay. So now, how much I have actually I have done this experiment both directly face to face with college students, with professionals, with different kinds of people, and in all the answers whatever people can come up with, they can be classified under different heads. One is investment, right? Investment, business, FD, like, or stocks, or buy some real estate, like some way of investment can be done, right? And the other one is entertainment, travel, right? Bolero, like, you can buy a car, or you can go on a tour, or all kinds of things, right? And the third is charity, right? And a lot of people say social service, build schools, like, hospitals, and orphanage and old age home, like all kinds of charity activities. Now, in fact, like, there are some people who say, okay, pursuit of knowledge. And in fact, I got from a couple of sessions, I got a very interesting answer which said, like, so just because you give, why should we take it? I don't want it, right? I don't accept it. So that's also a way of responding, right? So if you look at it, right, this is all that you can do. There are no other options. And in the our scriptures, this is what is called as artha, kama, dharma, and moksha. So pursuit of security is called artha, pursuit of pleasure is called kama, pursuit of social service, doing charity, all those things, right? That is called dharma. And seeking knowledge, especially spiritual knowledge, right? Then, or renunciation, saying, okay, I don't want it, I'm already happy, right? So that is freedom, moksha, right? And this holds good not only for money, right? So even if you are given time, right, or any effort, why do you do what you do, right? So anytime you ask yourself or ask someone, why do you do what you do, and where they give some answer, and you ask again why, again you ask why, right? Let us say a person says, okay, I'm doing my research, or I'm doing my btech, I'm studying. You say, okay, why? Like, you say, okay, fine, because I want to get a good placement in the campus. Okay, why? Like, I want to get a lot of salary. Like, why? Like, because I want to take care of my family. Like, like, so why? Because, like, yeah, it's for the security. Or you can say, okay, I want to buy this to my family. So if you keep on asking why, it will always come and latch on, or finally the final answer would be either security, pleasure, social service, or knowledge, right? Now, and you cannot ask why again to this, because these are considered as fundamental pursuits, and that's why they are called purusharthas, right? Now, I'll give you some questions. This is more like a homework for yourself. So there are some questions for deep thinking, which is going to help you a lot to align yourself to find a purpose in your own life, right? Now, you can, of course, like, anyway, you will, I'll share you the PPT, and I think the recordings also will be there, or maybe you can take a screenshot of, after I give all the three of them are there. So once all the three are on the screen, you can take a snapshot. So you don't need to copy, write it down. And then I want you to think deeply about these three questions, and try to answer them later when you are free. Okay. So the first question is, like, if you are given 3 months of paid vacation, all costs covered, you are paid. Now, how do you want to spend that 3 months? So 6 months, right? Suppose if you are given 6 months of paid vacation, one full semester basically, right? Then what would you want to do, right? So this is one question. The second question is, if you are given all the resources in the world, right? People, technology, money, power, think tanks, like everything, you have all the resources. Like, you are either the POTUS, right? President of the United States, or President of India, or Prime Minister of India, or like whatever, like, right? So you are given all resources in the world, and everything, you have absolutely no lack of resources. Everything you want is given to you. Now, what do you want to do with that, right? What do you want to do to yourself? What do you want to do to others? What problems in the world do you want to solve, right? Think about it, right? And the third question is, if you have just 7 more healthy days, like what Parikshit was given. I hope all of you are aware of the Bhagavatam story, right? Like, where Parikshit was bitten by a snake, and he had just 7 days to live, right? Suppose you are given just 7 days to live. These 7 days you will be healthy, like, no bedridden, nothing. You'll be fully healthy as you are now. Seventh day, you will just vanish off the earth painlessly. Suppose if that is the case, how will you spend those 7 last days, right? This is the third question. So what you can do is, you can take a snapshot of the screen, right? And then you can save it. Then you can note it, try to answer this question later, right? And maybe Ankush also, you can take a snapshot and send it to the Samiti members, Vivekananda Samiti members separately, right? Fine. So let us keep going. Now, we saw 4 goals, right? We saw artha, right? Security, kama, pleasure, right? Dharma, that is virtue, helping others, and then moksha, freedom and sacrifice. Now, this is something which is there everywhere, and a good way for you to always keep remembering it is remember our flag, right? So the green at the bottom is artha and kama, right? That is a prosperity, right? And the white is the dharma. It has got the dharma chakra also. And the saffron is moksha, freedom and sacrifice, right? And the order, one above the other, shows what is more important than the other. So you can always, give up artha kama for dharma, and you can always give up dharma for moksha. That's why sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja, right? And you all know, like, you must all might have read gospel, right? Sri Ramakrishna always used to talk about kama kanchana tyaga. That is exactly artha and kama, right? And Swamiji keeps saying atmano mokshartham jagat hitaya cha. That is about dharma and moksha, right? The motto of the Ramakrishna Mat is atmano mokshartham, right? That is moksha, jagat hitaya cha, which is dharma, right? So Sri Ramakrishna says kama kanchana tyaga covers the first two of these, and Swamiji says atmano mokshartham jagat hitaya cha, where they cover the second two. And you can find this even in the Shanti mantra, sahana bhavatu sahana bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahay tejasvinavaditamastu, right? Mavidvishabhahi, you must be very familiar. So sahana bhavatu means may the Lord protect us, right? Which is about security. Sahanau bhunaktu means let him bhunaktu, like here the bha dhatu basically is about enjoyment, about pleasure, right? So sahanau bhunaktu means let him give us the pleasures, let us enjoy. And then saha viryam karavavahe, let him give us the virya, right? The enthusiasm, energy to work for others. Saha viryam karavavahe. Then tejasvinavaditamastu. So let him make us tejasvi, full of light, knowledge, wisdom, freedom, sacrifice. That is moksha. So this Shanti mantra actually covers the four purusharthas. And then of course Mahavid Vishabhai is like let us not be jealous or let us not fight with each other, right? So everything is available to everyone. This is the priority. And so Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, right? So this is the Shanti mantra also talks about this. And similarly, like even Taittiriya Upanishad and so many places, you have the same the four goals are given. Now, okay, yeah, I'll give you a few Gita shlokas also, which talk about it sometime later. Like I will give you some more thoughts to think. This is actually a picture of a fish tank in my house. I have some fishes and them some. I used to grow some guinea pigs also, which are not there now. And having these pets, like growing plants, growing fishes, like it kind of gives you a lot of thinking. And so one day I was looking at it, and a thought came to me: what is success in life for this fish? Like there are fishes, you can see black fishes, and then these are all mollies. And for fishes in the fish tank, what does success in life mean, right? And if you think, you will be able to say that yeah, they should be healthy, they should grow, and they should become adults, they should give rise to some offsprings. You can see one small fish there, like one baby fish, right? So there are a lot of other baby fish also on the sides. So if it gives some offsprings, and then before it dies, then the life of a fish is successful, right? And similar thing is for a plant also, right? Like a plant should grow and have some fruits, and have some seeds, and then get some extra plants, more plants, right? Or in case of a rose or a hibiscus, like cut the stem, put it, and it become another plant. So that's what becomes success in life for a plant, right? Or a fish in a pond, or for a dog, right? A dog doesn't say, okay, like I want to win in the dog competition or something. Like it's for it is just cow up yo maja karo, and then have some puppies and die, that's it, right? So now, same thing even if it is a shark in the sea, like all these things, this is what is success, right? But then a human being cannot have these as success, right? If a human being's life also is spent in just kawa piyo maja karo and have some children and then die, then as Kena Upanishad says, no, it is mahati vinashti, right? It is a big calamity. It's a big waste of things. And this we can get from as a hint from evolution, right? If you look at the evolution, so you have the lowest organisms which just survive and multiply. They just have hunger, thirst, right? Their whole life is driven by these lower drives, lower pursuits, right? And if you look at the slightly better animals like elephants, or some herds of lions and things like that, then you have a herd, you have a society, then so it has takes care of children, and in fact elephants do even grandparenting, right? And it has various other emotions which are involved, right? And if you go to human life, then you get the higher values, right? Concept of right, wrong, beliefs, duties, rights, justice, sacrifice, right? So all these things are come as a human values, right? They're not there in animal kingdom. No animal says I am going to be a monk and I'm going to be a brahmachari for my entire life, right? In fact, like no animal says even I'll be a brahmachari till I get married. Like the moment they get puberty, they start procreating, right? There is no concept of brahmacharya in any animals. Or no animal says today Shivratri I will do Jagran, today's Ekadasi I will do Vrata. Like all those things are all only for human beings. So the whole concept of discipline, self control, that is what is human value, right? And that is what is actually is the value of human being a human being, right? And beyond that you have the spiritual values, right? Dispassion, knowledge, freedom, right? So that is, so again if you see here, right, you can see the same right, artha, security, which is there in the lowest organisms. Then you have kama, emotions, right, like pleasure, that is there for the next higher level of animals. Dharma comes in human beings. And then spiritual values come under moksha, right? You can again see the four purusharthas even in the evolution, right? Because evolution is based on that. Now uh, manifesting higher values in life is a contribution to nature and to evolution, right? So we were right from the beginning we've been talking about contributing, right? Like how can I contribute, how can I give, what can I give? So you not getting angry, and you sacrificing, you doing an ekadasi vrata, right, or you doing a shivratri jagran, that itself is a great contribution to nature, to evolution, because you are manifesting higher values. Whereas if you succumb to lust, or you succumb to like lower pursuits like anger and things like that, then you are betraying nature, you are betraying your evolution, right? Nature has put in billions of years of evolution to become, to make you into a human being. And if you behave like an animal, then you are actually betraying nature, you are betraying evolution, right? You are telling you don't deserve to be a human being, right? So just by following higher values itself is a contribution. And here is a beautiful quotation by Swamiji, right? Since happiness is not the goal of human life, right? Wisdom is the goal. And you can read faster than me anyway, right? So like this, there are a lot of quotations by Swamiji which convey the same idea, right? You can find all over complete works. So this is one of the core concepts of which is higher and what is lower, and always you pursue whatever is higher. And in fact, even Einstein has he was also a great thinker, right? So he has a very beautiful concept, which words he has mentioned, right? So either the human beings a part of the whole called this universe. And uh, basically like it's an optical illusion to think of us as human, as individuals, like that. We thinking ourselves as individuals is basically a prison. And as human beings, like our duty is to break out of this prison of individuality and embrace all the creatures and the whole of nature. And that liberation from this individual limited self is the purpose. That's a true value of a human being, right? So this is the purpose of being human, right? So the purpose of being human is to manifest human values, higher values, and not succumb to the Arishat Varga, right? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, which Sri Ramakrishna keeps telling repeatedly in the gospel, the six enemies, right? They're basically six psychological defects, right? So getting free from them and establishing higher values itself is a big contribution. And to be able to contribute, every person can contribute in different ways, right? So and so some of them I already covered some of these ideas, right? And uh, so here I have given you some personas, right? Like a person who is born a rich family, a educated person, an uneducated person, right? Or as I told you in the beginning, like even a person who is poor, sick in his last days, even he can contribute to life, to nature, to evolution, just by thinking noble thoughts, right? So just even being on your deathbed and chanting the name of the Lord, doing japa, right? And uh, being free from kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, that itself is a great contribution, right? And I also pointed out to you, right? So now give, and then nature will reward you. And the biggest reward that you will get by all these things is peace, wisdom, satisfaction. So you will get all these things, right? And so a couple of more slides I'll take you through. And so the state of freedom, right? Again, Gita talks about vihaya kam. This is comes in the Sita Prajna Lakshana, right? The Sita Prajna Lakshana, like this is actually almost the last shloka in that second chapter, right? I think 72 is there. This is the 71st shloka. So vihaya kaman yas sarvan pumams charati nisprihaha nirmamo nirahankara sa shantim adhigachati, right? So a person who is free from the sense of ownership, right? So nisprihaha, right? Like and nirmama, right? Nirmama is mama is mamakara is ownership. A person who is free from ownership. Nirmama, that is the talks about the artha, freedom from artha, right? Or freedom from pursuit of artha, freedom from giving value to artha, right? And then you have vihaya kaman yes sarvan, so there is a free from desires, right? Free from giving value for kama. And then ahankara, nirahankara, free from pride, right? And free from all this, still work for others, right? Puman, uh, like pumam charati nispriha. Charati basically means he still continues to be active, and nispriha is unattached, right? So without attachment you still work, right? And this is what is karma yoga, right? Like you don't work for short term results, you work for the world, for the welfare of the world. And such a person shantim adhigachati, you will get peace, and that is what moksha is all about. And this is the state of the freedom. And there is another shloka which is the fifth chapter, beautiful shloka, which talks about what is the path, how do you get to that state. Again, here again you can see the same pursuits, right? And here again, so the first one is you yoga yukto vishuddhatma, right? So here yoga basically means karma yoga. So by karma yoga you become vishuddhatma. Vishuddhatma basically means freedom from likes and dislikes, right? Here the word atma comes multiple times in this shloka, and it means each time it means a different thing. So the first atma basically means mind. So a pure mind is free from likes and dislikes. So that is karma yoga, yoga yukto vishuddhatma. Then vijitatma jitendriya, right? So control over the mind, you are right? You are uh, become a vijitatma, right? And by that you will be able to get jitendriya. You will be mastery over the senses by doing mind control or meditation. So karma yoga, here it is dhyana yoga, right? Or raja yoga. Then the third one is sarva bhutatma bhutatma, right? You see yourself in all living beings and all living beings in yourself. So you have absolutely no distinction between yourself and the entire universe or Lord, right? Like so this becomes, either you can treat it as jnana yoga because it talks about the oneness of the whole creation, or you can also call it as bhakti yoga because the Lord is the one who is residing in all living beings. So that is covered here, right? So this is the way to become free from these limitations. And such a person, right? Kurvan apina lipyate. So in the previous shloka, we saw it said charati nisprihaha, right? So here the same thing comes as kurvan api na lipyate. Even you will be able to do all your action without getting affected, right? And that is exactly what is called as the moksha, and that is the purpose, that is a goal. And so Gita, these are just some selected shlokas. There are so many shlokas which talk about the same, the four purusharthas, and how you get over the four purusharthas by following the four yogas, like karma yoga, dhyana yoga, right? So Gita has got a lot of shlokas. This is just a sample for you, and I'll stop here. And you can, this is my blog, practicalphilosophy.in. You can find a lot of a lot of articles there, right? And you can read them. And if you have any questions, feel free to send a mail to me. My email ID is gokulmuthu@gmail.com. It is also there in the blog. My Gmail ID is there. You can reply either on the article itself, or you can send me an email, or yeah, I'm free. You can contact me in any way that you want. Feel free to approach me if you have any questions. And I would request all of you to do the homework which I gave you. I given you 3 questions to answer, and also listen to this again, and become familiar with all the concepts and think deeply about it. Then that is how you'll be able to imbibe these ideas, right? Yep. So any questions, if anyone has? If we have
Yes, sir.
time, we can take.
Thanks, sir, for sharing these wonderful insights. Now the floor is open for questions. One can raise hand virtually through the option in Zoom, so that I will ask you to unmute you, or you can write in the chat box.
Good evening.
So my question is, sir, quite different. Sir, is sir, relationship is also a part of the purpose of life, to make relations with other, something like that.
See, if your relationship is that of giving, then it is fine. But if your relationship is where you say grab, 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 that is not the purpose of life. But if your relationship is to give, 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 then yes, you give. And that is the way you grow. You grow by giving.
Yes,
Right?
sir, yes.
So that's what we have been seeing about karma yoga, right? It's
Yes,
karma
sir, yes.
yoga is of course a part of the purpose of life, where you give without expecting anything in return.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, my question is, what happens after one attains moksha?
See, you need to understand the word moksha. Okay. Moksha is basically freedom from dependency on external people, objects, and situations for your happiness. The samsara is dependency on people, objects, situations for your happiness. That's why, like, Gita starts with asocyan anasochatvam prajnavadamscha basase gatasun agatasuncha na anushochanti panditaha. Right? So panditaha, the wise man, na anushochanti, does not grieve. Right? So when we say moksha, moksha is freedom from grief. And grief basically comes from the Arishat Varga: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So moksha is basically freedom from Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So Kama is lust, greed, right? Kama, lust, or any kind of desire, right? Kama, Krodha is anger, Lobha is greed, Moha is delusion between what is right, what is wrong, what is permanent, what is impermanent. Lobha, right? Lobha, Mata is arrogance, Matsarya is jealousy. These 6 are the defects of the mind. Freedom from these 6 is what is called as moksha, right? Freedom from these 6 defects of the mind, which actually these 6 are animal qualities. They are not actually human qualities, right? They're all animal qualities. Freedom from these is called moksha. Now, what happens after moksha? Like, so when you have this freedom from these 6, even during your lifetime, it is called Jivan Mukti, right? When you have, because this freedom will come only from the knowledge of who am I, right? The knowledge of who am I, what is this world, what is my relationship to God, who is God, that knowledge will give you freedom from these six defects. That knowledge will give you freedom from dependence on people, object, and situations. When you have that freedom, then you enjoy as a Jivan Mukta. And when the body falls, then you become a Videha Mukti, Videha Mukta. This is the concept of moksha.
What exactly is a Videha Mukta?
Videha Mukti is just when the body falls, then you become there is, so till the end of life, till the body is there, it is called Jivan Mukti, where you are free even while living, right? And when the body falls, then it is called Videha Mukti. Videha means free from body. So the body also is gone. So that is the next. That is basically like, it's just actually doesn't matter. It is just that the body falls. It's just another what do you call term, right? Because once you have Jivan Mukti, you don't bother whether the body is lives or not, right? Because you are anyway enjoying. You are free from all these shatripu, so you have no problem, right? So this is what is called mukti. Clear?
Yes,
We
sir.
we
Thank you.
deha. We deha means the without body. Jivan mukti means freedom, free while living, right? That's the two kinds. Yeah.
Insight. My question is regarding like there are different kind of work that like which we do, but there are some work which we like to do more. For
Mm,
example, no, maybe I like to do coding a lot
mm,
than to sing, or there's some people
mm,
who like to sing a lot.
mm.
Then how does this impact our purpose of life? Because majority of the people I think are stuck
Yeah.
at a place in a work which they don't like, and maybe they will never get out of it. And also how to survive this kind of situation, maybe
See,
everyone don't get that kind of work which they love, right?
see, I would like you to read a couple of concepts, couple of books. Okay, one is, there's a book called Ikigai, or you can even do a wiki search, right? You can search on Wikipedia, you can search on Google. Ikigai, IKIGAI. Okay, it's a Japanese concept.
Okay,
Look
sir.
at it. And then there is another book, another one author called Cal Newport. Okay, Cal Newport has written a few books. One of them is How to Be a Straight A Student in College, Deep Work. So there are a few books. Okay, so now I'll these are, and of course, like I think Simon Sinek is also like Start With Why. Like these are all very good books which all of you should read. Now I'll tell you the concept in brief. Okay, now if you think that you want to do only what you like to do, then you are not actually giving, you are only grabbing, right? I like to eat laddu, I want to eat laddu. I like to code, I want to code. Now uh, this is consuming, right? What you need to think about is, how can I contribute? What does the world need? What can I give? Don't think about what the world can give me, right? Focus on what can I give to the world. Now if what you can give also is something what you like, then it is an added bonus. But then your your contribution to the world should not be based on what you like to do. It should be based on what is the best thing you can give, what is the best value you can add to this world, right? Understood? So
Okay, sir.
now if you look at the concept called ikigai, so there they help you to form, to identify your passion, right? Like, so what does this world need? What pays? What is valuable? What am I good at? What do I like doing? So you, based on these four concepts, you can always find what is the overlap in these four, right? And if you are able to get a full overlap in all the four, then you are really
Okay.
lucky. Whereas
Okay.
if you don't get an overlap, then you go more towards what is useful to this world than what you like doing. If you like do just spend all your time in social media, then you are not useful to the world. Like so you are only grab, right? That is not the right way to live, right? The
Uh,
right way to live is to give, right? So which means, like, Whether you like it or not, you do what is right. That is called following Shreyas, right? Whether if you follow your likes and your whims and fancies, that is preyas. Kathopanishad, if you see this Kathopanishad second chapter, talks about preyas and Shreyas, right? So don't just let drift on life based on what you like. You lead your life based on what you think is right, what you think contributes to the world. Kitna
Of
deta hai?
course.
Remember that,
Yes,
right?
sir, but
Understand?
like there's one concept called prarabdha, right? Tendencies which we carry from one body to different body. So,
Hmm?
like, does that also, sometimes
Yeah.
help us
So
in loving something which we love?
see, prarabdha, you put it in a different way. Prarabdha is nature's way of extracting from you. Okay. Nature
Okay.
will put you in situations where you can contribute. If you contribute sufficiently in any given situation, if you do full justice to the
Mhm.
situation in which you are placed in, then that will lead to your spiritual growth. Whereas if you are placed in a situation by life and you say like this is not I want to do, I don't like to do this, I don't like to do this, you don't do the job which is given to you, and if you start pursuing what you think is pleasurable, then you will never
Mhm.
get over your prarabdha. You will only create more karma for you, and spiritually you will not progress. Spiritual progress will happen not by pursuing what you like. Spiritual progress will
Okay.
happen by doing full justice to what situation you are placed in. If you are a student, study.
Okay.
If you
Okay.
are a job, do your job properly. If you are a son of in a family, serve your parents, serve your sisters, serve your brothers, serve your country. It is only by giving that spiritual progress happens, not by doing what you like.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. So read those books. I told you Cal Newport, Simon Sinek, right? And the book
Yes,
called
sir.
Ikigai. Ikigai, I forgot the name of the author. The book title is Ikigai, but you
Mhm.
don't need to read the full book. These days, there are so many videos on YouTube which give you a summary of the book. So you can
Mhm.
even watch 10 minutes or half an hour summary of those books. Even that will be very good, right? What you need to
Okay.
pick up is the concept, right? So learn from these authors. Okay.
Sir,
Say.
sir, I had the question that, like, I introspected myself a lot and I asked myself the question, who am I?
Hmm?
And I came to the conclusion that I'm not this body and I'm not this mind.
Very
But
good.
how can I come to the conclusion that I'm this pure awareness? And is this pure awareness same as is the same as consciousness that science talks about?
You're doing very good. You're see, understanding that I am not this body, I am not this mind itself is a very great spiritual progress. Okay.
Okay,
So
thank
it is really good that you are pursuing in that direction. It is very good that you have come to those conclusions. Okay.
you.
So don't worry, you are on the right track. So you ensure that these two concepts sink in very well also. Okay.
Yeah,
Because you can go to the next step only when the previous step is completely absorbed.
yeah,
So if you have completely absorbed these two concepts, I am not this body, I am not this mind, then automatically you will start proceeding towards the next steps. Okay.
I see.
And along with that, so this yeah, today is Friday, right? Yeah. Sunday morning, 11 o'clock, there is a talk under the auspicious of Vivekananda Study Circle in IISc. Uh, I think you should be. It's a series of 5 talks. It was there last week, last Sunday also. It is there this Sunday, and the
I see.
topic for this Sunday is knowing yourself, right? How to know ourselves, which is exactly what you are asking. So
I see.
you can look at that, right? You can listen to that,
I see.
and you can also search on YouTube. If you search with my name, right,
I see.
Gokulmuthu Narayanaswamy, there is a talk which I gave I think last year or year before that. It is called Panchakosha Viveka, practical application of Panchakosha Viveka. You
I
can
see.
It is there on YouTube. You can listen to that. You will get some good insights, and day after tomorrow also there is a talk on a very similar topic. You can listen to that also.
I see. Okay, thank you. And is this pure
awareness same as the scientific consciousness they talk about, as science talks about consciousness?
See, science has got a very different concept of consciousness, because actually, if you are familiar with the terms of Vedanta,
Yeah.
what science calls as consciousness is consciousness with a small c, not
Yeah.
consciousness with a capital C. And
Exactly.
consciousness with a small c is what we call as Chidabhasa, reflection of consciousness. So
Right.
that is different from the original consciousness, right? So in Vedanta, in Advaita, especially what we call as consciousness is the original consciousness, which normally we write it as consciousness with a capital C. That is different from what science calls as consciousness, which is actually reflected consciousness, Chidabhasa.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir, how to deal with globally expanding narcissism with spiritual practices?
See, uh, there are a couple of things here, right? The Swami, I mean, if Swamiji also has talked about it, he says like even if a person, even if a sage sits in a cave and meditates, the thoughts that he sows will have its effect. Okay, so that's what we also saw, right? Like I had pointed you to the evolution, right? So you as an individual, if you are pursuing noble thoughts, and if you are harboring noble thoughts in your mind, and if you are avoiding like animalistic and lower emotions, lower thoughts in your mind, that itself is a great service to nature, to evolution, to mankind, to everyone, right? Because you are basically pioneering the evolution of nature and evolution of human beings by pursuing more human qualities and by refraining from animal qualities. So even as an individual, right, if you uh, pursue good thoughts, that itself is going to have a big effect. If you read Swamiji in one place, he says the thief stealing is actually the net effect of all the greed of the rest of the society. Just that this one guy could not resist it and he becomes a thief, but the blame of the thief goes to the entire society. So you not giving space to greedy, to you not giving space to greed in your mind itself is your help to a person not becoming a thief. You can read Swamiji's ideas on this. He has talked about it in several places. So first thing what I'm trying to tell you is like you uh, purify your mind, your thoughts, remove violence from your mind. That is a contribution you can do. Okay, so and then you can look at like okay, there is violence in this world, there is a lot of like fundamentalism and so many other things. And like if you are in a position to help, if you are if it is your duty, right? Like let us say you are an IFS officer, or if you are a diplomat, if you get into any of a position where it becomes your your swadharma to directly contribute, then you can go and contribute, right? So if it is your swadharma, you can contribute, or you take up that as your swadharma, right? You write UPSC, become an IFS officer, become a diplomat, and then you can contribute to the world, right? uh, Otherwise, like as a samanya dharma, like if you follow samanya dharma, like you control your own mind, and you make yourself pure and peaceful, and that itself will be a contribution to the world. These are the two ways in which you can contribute.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Now, question from the question from chat box is from Manju Hamsa. In the relation to God, Guru and Shishya. Sorry, sir. Let me.
Yeah, read
Okay.
Ankush. No.
Yes, sir. In the relation to Guru and Shishya, where Shishya in the relation with Guru only to grab knowledge from Guru and not to give anything to Guru, then is it not a good relation?
See, as I told you, taking is not only material, and giving is not only in material ways or even in terms of intangibles like knowledge. Okay. So before we go to the Guru Shishya, like I'll suppose, let us say, a small 10-year-old girl comes and tells you, today is my birthday, and gives you some chocolate. Now, you taking the chocolate and wishing the girl happy birthday is giving actually. So, though you have taken the chocolate, but emotionally you have given, right? So, in case of a guru and sishya, right? Now, of course, the guru gives knowledge, and the sishya takes knowledge. Now, what is the kritagnya, right? Like, what is the uh, in return, right? What is the guru dakshina that the guru can give, right? The that the sishya can give, right? There are two things which every guru expects from the sishya as guru dakshina. The first guru dakshina is you have to follow it in your own life. Whatever has been taught by the guru, you implement it, you experiment it, you follow it in your own life. That is the first guru dakshina that you can give. Second guru dakshina is you pass it on to the next generation, right? Whatever you have learnt, you give it, right? This is the second guru dakshina. So first one is you follow what you have learnt, and second is you teach to others what you have learnt. These are the two primary guru dakshina that you need to give. Other guru dakshina in terms of material offerings, or like if you, like, say for example, one of the guru dakshina in Ramakrishna Mat, if you are guru, or if you have learned something from Ramakrishna mission, then you can serve the Ramakrishna mission in their social service activities. That itself is a guru dakshina only, right? So you can involve in the other welfare activities which are going under the name of the institution or under the name of your guru. So that itself is a guru dakshina, right? But the primary guru dakshina is following what the guru has taught you. Without doing that, if you do other things, it is of no use. That is the main guru dakshina which is expected.
Sir, sir, I had a question about along the same line. Like, if I want to make someone my guru, is it necessary that uh, I be in physical proximity with the guru, or is it okay that I have not seen the guru but I still make him my guru? Can I do that?
See, now there are uh, two types. One is a personal guru, the other one is an institutional guru, right? So if you if you go to an institution, right, like Ramakrishna mission, Chinmaya mission, Art
Yeah.
of Living, Amritanandamayi, like Isha Yoga, there are so many institutions, right?
Yes,
So now the institutional support is there, which is basically a manifestation of the guru. So
exactly.
that way, like, even if you don't of course, to you have to have a first a direct personal contact with the guru, who is either the founder or a representative of the institution, who is like, who is what you call authorized by the institution to be a guru. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, after once you have got the personal contact, then after that, either anyone in the institution or any literature of the institution, everything becomes your guru, right? So it is like a college, right? If you want to go and join a college, to get
Yeah.
admission in the college, okay, you go through the process, you go through the principal, you go through the institution, and then you get yourself enrolled. Now once you got yourself enrolled, then every professor in the college, every even a ta or a ra in the college is your teacher only, right? So you
Yeah.
can learn anything from anyone who knows even something more than what you know, even right? So that way, like, whatever you learn, it is coming from the institution only, right? So as long as it is in line with the spirit of the institution, so you don't need to actually have a physical direct contact with the same guru who gave you diksha or who taught you something, like, because he is anyway represented by the institution. So so any person, senior person in the institution is can it's called a siksha guru. So you call us diksha guru and then siksha guru. So your
Yeah.
siksha guru can be anyone,
I see.
and even
For example, if
yeah.
I'm seeing YouTube videos
Mm,
of a enlightened person
mm,
and I make him my guru, So is it okay, or do I need to be in physical proximity with that person?
So, see, basically, as Sri Ramakrishna says, no, Sachidananda is the only Guru. God is the only Guru. Okay.
I see.
And every teaching comes from everyone. Uh, God's teaching comes through various channels. Okay. Now, but then, first thing is you should have faith in God, that, and you should have the mumukshutva, the vyakulata, right? Like you should have the longing towards the truth, okay, towards the Lord. Then the Lord will talk to you through various means, right? He'll talk to you through a Bhagavad Gita shloka also. Bhagavan Uvacha, we say, no, like Bhagavad Gita, every chapter starts with Bhagavan Uvacha. Like Lord talks through that shloka, right? So if you have the right sincerity, if you have the faith, then the Lord will speak to you through all these ways. Now, if you look at a YouTube channel, if you look at this thing, now they're all Siksha Gurus. Okay. So a Siksha Guru is not responsible for you. Okay. Whereas a Diksha Guru is responsible to you. There is a bondage there. There's a two-way connection. In case of a Siksha Guru, it's only a one-way connection, right? But in case of a Diksha Guru, it's a two-way connection. So he is also responsible to you. So that way, it is a much closer relationship. So there are a couple of ways to do it. One is, even if you are listening to a YouTube video, right? If you think, okay, you are kind of in sync with that person's the way of explaining, then you can go and directly meet that person and take his blessing directly. You tell him that I've been listening to you, this is what I have learned, and you ask him any questions, and then let him know that you are seriously listening to what he says and you are seriously pursuing. So basically, like, you be in his memory also, right? Not only you think of him, let him also think of you. Then it becomes a two-way relationship. Okay. Then the benefit you will gain will be much more, right? So, and of course, it can be with the institution. Suppose, like, if it is a video of a person, like, let us say, for example, if you listen to a video of Chinmayananda, Swami Chinmayananda, or Swami Ranganathananji, right? Now, obviously, like, they are not existing in their physical frame now, right? They are not there in the physical body, but then they have an institution, right? Like, if Chinmayananji has got a Chinmaya mission, and Ranganathananji, like, Ramakrishna mission is there. So the mission, so their mission or their teachings continues through the institution. So you can listen to Swami Ranganathananji, and then you can go and talk to a senior monk in the Ramakrishna mission, and then you can tell the person you are listening to Swami Ranganathananji's talks, you are liking it, you are continuing to listening to it, and if you have any questions, you can come and ask them. Then it becomes a two-way relationship, because you have got in touch with the institution which represents, right? So one way is fine, right? But then once you are serious about it, get it into a two-way relationship, which then your relationship will be much more effective, and your progress will become much more fast.
Chat box from Manas. In Bhagavad Gita, in every chapter, Sri Krishna tells about sense control. But in practical life, we see when one gets something good to eat or enjoy, he feels happiness. So how to understand Sri Krishna's teachings in daily life?
See, it is not wrong to enjoy something which is dharmic. We saw that shloka, right? So if you have contributed, and if whatever you're consuming is yajna shishta, then that is fine. Like, it doesn't lead to it only reduces your sin, right? So uh, Krishna himself says, right, the dharma avruta kamaha, right? Like, so he says, I am the desire which is not against dharma. So as long as your kama is not against dharma, it is fine. Okay. And it is okay, you can pursue it, right? So two things: one is it should be dharmic, and second thing is you should have already contributed, you should have earned what you enjoy, then it is fine. Okay. But over a period of time, you will automatically get over it, right? You will outgrow those desires as you do karma yoga, as you do meditation, japa, dhyana, and all that. Slowly you will get over the hankering after the sense pleasure. It will happen slowly, provided you follow these two, right? It should be dharmic, and you should have contributed for it. Then no problem.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, I thank you on the behalf of Vivekananda Samiti for taking your precious time to join here and sharing valuable thoughts. I thank all of you for attending this lecture. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om Tat Sat.
Thank you.
Krishna Arpanamastu.